Alrighty, guys. Well, welcome back to another episode of the On-Site Inside podcast. I'm your host, Corey Tompkins, and today is a bit of a full circle moment for myself and for some of the listeners anyway that have listened all the way back to the very first ones. I wouldn't recommend it, but we have Chris the Chippy on. Thank you, mate. Thank you for coming on. This isn't your first time. For you guys that don't know anyway, Chris was one of the very first, I think even the first that we'd ever had on, and that was nearly 2 years ago. So, Chris, if you want to just give the listeners a little bit about who you are, man, and then, we don't need to elaborate on heaps of shit, but, we'll get going.
Nah, thank you. Thanks for having me back on, let's have a bit, very quick overview. Qualified chippy from the Gold Coast, been up on the Gold Coast for going on 12 years now. Like I said, go back, listen to the first one if you want a bit in depth. But I did my sort of qualifications and that a little bit backwards. Did a mature age around COVID time. So that was crazy. And then been out of my own for 2.5, 3 years now, maybe somewhere in there. Yeah,
that's crazy. So I just want to thank you again for coming on, man. But as I said, for you guys that are listening, Chris was, I think, the first ones that I reached out to, and let me just give you guys a little bit of context back then. We didn't have a name, we didn't have any following, nothing. No one had been on. No one really knew who we were about or what we did. No one knew who I was. I didn't even really have a big social presence anyway. And then I reached out to Chris, and bam, I think he was just like, fuck it, like, let's go. We'll go straight on. So I've always been. Chris has always had a bit of a soft spot for me because he's always been like that first guy that was just like, let's go. Because, it wasn't that easy back then to get people on. It's a little bit different now. People do want to come on and share their story and stuff, which is cool. But nah, man, thank you again. So we're not going to go down the deep dive about his apprenticeship and that. If you guys do want to get a little bit of context to that, you can listen back to the first one. It is a little bit sketchy for both of us. Sounds a little bit rough. It is a rough listen on the ears, but in that one, Chris definitely deep dives a little bit about his journey through his apprenticeship and all that sort of stuff. So I would recommend it because he, as he said, it was a little bit backwards. It wasn't a traditional sort of route, but he got it done and everything like that. So, but we're going to talk about some, I would say some common things that we both are finding in the industry at the moment, and we're just going to shoot the shit where we're at the moment, and some of the things that we're finding. But first thing on the top of the list for me is one of the things that we put up a while ago, and I want to know your thoughts about it. I know that you have a bit of a similar stance, but this whole thing at the moment that I'm finding amongst socials, and social media is great. I think it's a fucking great tool to use, but I have a bit of a thorn in my side with people using the trade, like bad mouthing the trade. And I'm not just talking about carpenters, it could be anyone and everyone. And even 2 years ago, I listened it back and I even said it back then about the struggles with apprentices these days of what they've got to, juggle with not only doing their job and the pay and everything like that, but they've also got the likes of social media fucking down their throat that they're not good enough and, that they should be doing more. And when I hear guys, talk shit about the trade where they came from and then reverse the content back to, sell to those guys, it's just a little bit of a fucking kick in the guts, I think anyway. So, is that something that you've found? I think there's one guy in particular that we both know. But yeah, man, I just think it's wrong, isn't it? Like,
100%. It's like I said, start off social media. It's a great tool. Like, have a look at what I do on mine. Like, a bit of advice, bit of tools, bit of the work, and I've spoken to a lot of people about the positives about it. Like, I find, in this new age, like if you, as a tradie or whatever aspect you're in, social media can nearly be as part of your resume. You do it right. But then, as you spoke about, like, we got people selling their courses, so to speak, and they're out there bad-mouthing, the trade industry and how shit it is. And then, for guys like yourself that have got, 4 or 5 apprentices on and they're sitting at Smoko and they're flicking their phone and, like, it'd be a nightmare. And then on the same scale. Like I've spoken to a few chicks that are tradies and trying to be apprentices as well, and then for them as well, like they've got chicks out there walking around job sites in bikinis and stuff trying to sell their OF and then like for them, like it's so hard for them as well on the other side of it, because they're trying to cut their teeth in this industry, in male dominated industry, and they got birds on there, walk around nearly topless, trying to sell their OF or their courses and stuff. Like
they want to be taken seriously, and it's like, it's hard. Like it is hard, and you see it all the time. And I think, just going back to the apprentices, for me, I have such a fucking like a really big, like, strong passion for them. For you guys, this is now nearly 2 years that I've been doing this, and we don't make a fucking dime off doing it. I just want to give stuff back to these apprentices because it is hard. And like yourself and me, like I didn't have a podcast or anyone really there to sort of put me back in line, and not to mention like socials wasn't really a big thing anyway. But not only do they now have to put up with the work and actually working hard, you then got a guy that's in your fucking face saying, hey man, what you doing is fucking dog shit. Like, I wouldn't do that ever. And then you jump in the comments section and you got all these guys that are heroes that are saying the same fucking shit. Like, oh yeah, no, it's fucking dog shit. Like, I wouldn't do that anyway. And it's just a bunch of rubbish, man. But, I just hope that, and I guess you could probably say the same sort of thing, like, because you don't have apprentices at the moment, do you?
Nah. Yeah. We'll talk about that. But the future. Future is looking big. But
even kids, right? It's going to, like, we've both got kids, and then whether or not they choose to go down the trade path, that's a whole different topic. But, same thing. In years to come, it'll be exactly the same. Like, it'll be even harder for them again.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's sort of what I'm just trying to push and show guys in, because I've had guys that have gone through their apprenticeship. You went yours with a little bit of a different route, but I've got guys that have been 2.5 years in. Fucking one thing, like it could be the most minuscule thing, could be enough just to tip them off.
Yeah.
Before everyone fucking preaches like, oh, well, if that was all they needed, then, good fucking riddance to them. They were never going to make it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, but it doesn't make it any easier.
No.
So, it's hard.
Yeah.
It is hard.
Yeah. Like, I think if you strip it all back for the apprentice as well, I think they probably don't have that life experience as well, where, you strip it all back and you get all the context about said, post or whatever on Instagram. Like, these blokes probably aren't even really making much money on their courses or whatever they're selling. Like, they've got to be realistic about what they're thinking as well. And they probably haven't had that life experience to then sit here and go, oh, yeah, he might be right. Fuck this shit. I'm going to go do this and make $5,000 a week. Like, it never happens like.
It never happens like that. It never happens like that. Don't get me wrong. 0.111%.
Yeah.
Right? The small statistic that works. Fucking oath.
And it's worldwide, not Australia either.
Right. And you put it down to luck. I don't care what anyone says. There's that majority of the time, that 0.111% that works, it's all luck, mate.
Yeah.
It's all luck, right? What's not luck is sticking, doing what you're doing, being a man of your word, finish out your trade, do that thing. You're going to get paid. You can work up the ranks. You can go down that route. I literally, my old man used to say the same analogy to me. Once you finish your trade, go and fucking do whatever you want to do, right? You want to chase sunset surfing for the rest of your life? Go and do it. But finish out your trade.
Yeah.
Where everyone gets it twisted, where it's like, oh, I'm wasting my life away.
Yeah.
Because this is what I've heard. I'm wasting my life away. They're doing their apprenticeship. I'm like, you're not wasting anything away.
Way.
Where you're going to waste it away is when you, in your second year or your third year in, you throw the fucking towel in.
No.
That's when you're going to waste it.
Yeah.
Stick it out. Finish it.
Oh, for sure. Stick it out, because at the end of the day, you've got something to fall back on, and if you don't like it, like I know you've had one of the guys on here earlier about, they did their trade and now they're like killing it on social media and stuff, like, and hasn't picked a hammer up in 4 years or whatever. For sure, go do that. But in 5 or 6 years, if you're sick of doing that, you can always go back.
You can always
go
go
be a
back on
chippy
it
again, and he's still qualified. Or, for young guys or girls out there that do love traveling and still young, like get your ticket, whether it is being a chippy, plumber, or a sparky. Go overseas. Go like I've spoken and working with a lot of old guys that have done this in the 90s and 2000s where they're qualified and they've gone and worked in Canada or
wherever,
England, you know, in the mid-20s, and they're talking about how sick it was like partying, and then they're going to work in England. Like it's 4 years that you get paid to learn.
Mate,
like,
it goes so fucking fast. And a lot of the time, if you're half decent, it's not going to take you 4 years anyway.
Yeah.
Right? I've got guys that are like, you know, if they put their fucking head down and actually went all in, no two shits about it, they'd be done in 2.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good to your boss, you show up every day, you work hard, you switched on, it is not going to take you 4 years to get qualified because your boss knows how valuable you are.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, he's probably going to want to push you through so then he can give you an apprentice underneath you, and so on and so on. Like, that's what I always hear. Everyone like starts their apprenticeship, and when you sit down and you say to them, like, listen, man, it's going to be a 4-year apprenticeship. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But that's when I got to have a talk with them and say, like, listen, man, like, that's 4 years absolute worst case. Well, I wouldn't say worst case because I've seen guys take I've seen guys take longer, right? But anyway, let's just say that's the normal, right?
Yeah.
It's going to take you 4. But if you're half good and you just knuckle in, you'll fucking get it done.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when you see guys that are 35 or they're in their 40s and they RPL it, right? They go hard, dude. They go hard. Like, they work fucking hard and they bust their ringer for that year and a half or that 2-year period, whatever it is, to get that recognition prior to learning. They're not going to, a lot of the time, it doesn't take them 4 years because they have the maturity to fucking do the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah. So, but anyway, back on the apprentice thing.
Yeah.
So is that your next, is that what you're looking at now? Or have you had, since we spoke last, has there been, what's your experience been with that?
No, so yeah, still working myself, subby. Had a few builders that I've worked for over the time come and go. And then wasn't too long, I think, after recording it, or early last year, found a awesome bloke. He lives down in Benora Point, actually. So he does a lot of insurance work and stuff, and then does in the middle of his own development actually at the moment.
Yeah,
and
sweet.
then so do a lot of work from him, and we've been flat out with that actually, which has been pretty good, especially with all these storms and cyclones we've had. And but yeah,
did you still did you go down, because I think briefly you were saying to me that you used to do like a bit of contracting work too?
Yeah, so it was.
Are you still doing that at the moment?
I haven't had one for a little while.
Yeah.
His first couple that I did with him were contracts.
Yeah.
And now I just sub it to him on an hourly.
Yeah.
Help run his jobs.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, yeah, he's a ripper. Like, he looks after me.
Yep.
Because he's based in technically New South, he's got a New South and Queensland license.
Yeah.
So I've done a couple of jobs down at Lismore.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Cowboys, Jesus Christ. After all those floods I had, we had, in a space of like 4 months, we had 3 redos from so-called builders and tradies down there because it just got absolute torn to shreds after the floods.
Yeah.
So we had to go in there, and we had 3 in the one street that we had to redo.
Yeah.
And one
all
was
insurance sort of stuff.
Yeah, all insurance from the floods. And one was really bad. It was nearly a full redo. And we literally had to go in and demo both wet areas and redo the whole bathrooms and a heap of shit inside, skirting boards, doors, heaps of stuff. Like nearly redo most of it and turn into a reno really. Because Cowboys just come in and like tiles not lining up, waterproof. And then we found out once we started ripping it up, waterproof wasn't even done right. And I'm like, fucking hell.
Yeah, so.
And then.
Blessing in disguise then.
Yeah, so. Yeah, so I've done, been going down there a bit, and he looks after me to travel and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's great.
So, talking about that, because you've had the experience in the contract space.
Yeah.
Now, I would say you're in the space where, it's probably less full on. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you're not busy. Right? You're still obviously busy.
Yeah.
But it's a different world, essentially.
Yeah.
Right?
So.
When you, same thing, you still work for yourself, you're still doing this, that, the other. But to come from the contracting space to go doing what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Can you now see, like, would you pump and go back to slinging and banging on the contracts?
Yeah.
Or is that just like,
It's something I think I remember we speaking about last. I was tossing and turning, and then I think my latest, I did take a couple of fix out contracts over Christmas. So I literally only had like Christmas and Boxing Day off and New Year's Day. So I worked right through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a conversation I'm having with one of my good mates who's just come back. He was a chippy, or still is. He's was doing firefighting actually on his days off.
Yeah.
Or that was his main job for the last 5 years, and now he's back. And yeah, we're literally last couple of weeks just having a convo about teaming up, getting a crew together. Because I just had a network meeting with Carpentry Australia on the coast last week actually.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get big in Queensland because obviously they're predominantly in Victoria
Melbourne and stuff,
and a little bit in Sydney. And then, everything coming up with the Olympics in 32.
Yeah. I
was talking to Courtney, who's been up here for 12 months now, I think, in Brizzy.
Yeah, we've had them fucking...
She's, she was saying they're already, like, putting tenders in for certain things and, like, screaming out for chippies and stuff. And it just put a light bulb in me and was like, fuck, there could be something in this. Like, I reckon the next few years could just take off. So, yeah, I'm just trying to...
See how it's all going to pan out. Yeah.
Over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, try and get my ducks in a line, so to speak, and see if I can, get a crew together. And whether it's in that contracting space or commercial or whatever with that, or could be still in the resi space, because a lot of resi chippies probably got to go into that commercial space because it's going to be ridiculous money.
We're going to go down a deep rabbit hole, but like we probably in the last 2 years, we've, I would say, changed markets of where we were in. We are predominantly now more commercial than we are residential. From when I sat down with you first, we were all resi, straight resi, right? The dream was to always go to make that shift. It's a fucking difficult shift to make. I didn't anticipate it to take as long or as hard or as expensive as it did, as it is even right in this minute while we're talking. But we are making that shift. And what we've found is that, it's Brisbane for the most part at the moment is going to go absolutely gangbusters. I think on E1, we're seeing about 270 tenders come up weekly open. So every week, and that's just on our scope, right? To give you guys context, how it works in some of the tenders, and like this is actually one of the programs we use, but it's all scope based. So we just like for what we do, what we offer, 270 every single week. So it's like, hey, I know a lot of the contract crews that offer the same sort of stuff as us in the same space. There ain't that many. There's not a lot. Right. When you go down the line, when you go, like if you're slinging and banging and like 2 guys, 3 guys, a trailer out at Springfield, like in that game, if that's what you're going to play, diamond of dozens, heaps. You can find them everywhere. But up in the top end, it's the fucking, it's not that much, because you got so much, you're going to need so many guys, you need to service the amount of work. Like in that commercial sector, they're not going to get fucking Tom and Jerry to come with their trailer and do it. They're just not going to do it because it's a safety risk, they're
just not going to get it done in time.
They're not going to get it done in time. So it is hard to do it, but hey, if you want to get up in that space, I would say it's probably going to be the easiest it's ever been with the amount of work that is available. Don't get me wrong, you still need to make sure you dodge the sharks, because there are some out there, and there's a lot of guys that fucking I don't care what they're fucking charging or what they're going to offer. I would not go and work for them if they were the last people on the planet. But hey, if you dodge all them and you get through, you can really make, you can make it. Because the Olympics, it's, we went to a QMCA event, so it was a closed door event. There was only 4. So how it all worked was it was the Queensland Major Constructions Association, Contractors Association. And this event was, you had to pay to go to it, but it basically was all the politicians and the director of the Olympics in one room. And you basically had the stage full of all the politicians, all the big hitters, right, that were actually releasing the funding. And then down on the floor in the 400 seats were guys like myself. And, you know, obviously there was bigger companies like John Holland and that. But it was all the companies that were actually going to deliver these projects. Because they can say that they're going to build a $7 billion stadium. They're going to do a $400 million upgrade to the Gabba. They're going to fucking do all this stuff, right? Because that's all it was. We're throwing money here, money here, blah, 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 blah. People piped up in the audience. I remember one of the ladies literally stood up and she goes, well, you know, it's all good and well for you guys to sit up there and say, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But we're going to, meaning everyone in the room, we're going to look like dickheads if we don't have enough time to actually deliver these projects.
Yeah, exactly.
So when are we going to release when are you going to release the funding? When are you going to release the tendering? When are you, they don't know. You know, we're waiting on this. It's like, so I can literally see it unfolding in probably the next 18 months to 2 years that it will still be a little bit dry, and then bam, they'll fucking turn the gas on and it will be like, we need these things built. And then what's going to fucking happen? The construction industry in Queensland, we're all going to look like we can't deliver it and we're going to look like the ones that can't do it because they're going to turn to us and be like, oh, well, you don't have enough workers and, you know, the pipeline, the schedules are so tight and all this sort of jargon. And then we're just going to be sitting there fucking going like, oh, well, fuck. Like, so I think if you can position yourself, and this goes for any of you listeners as well that are thinking about doing your own thing and starting your own, you know, I'm not forcing anyone to start their own business. That's a whole another fucking conversation.
We'll be for another podcast.
Okay, so I am not going to go down that rabbit hole. But if you are thinking about it and you have made the decision yourself that it's something that you want to do, now is better time than ever. Like when else are we all going to be a part of something like that?
Oh,
for me, fuck, it's like a once in a lifetime gig. You know, you're not going to get the opportunity again. It's going to come past.
All right, guys, congratulations. You're halfway through this episode. I hope you guys are really enjoying it. But first, I just want to make a special thank you to Ideal Group Australia. Without them, I wouldn't be able to bring this podcast to you. So special thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Buckle in and get ready to listen to the end of this episode.
The amount of inboxes I get, even from people interstate or from New Zealand or wherever, like
New Zealand's crazy. The amount of people that I know that are like, oh man, I'm coming over.
They message me and they're like, oh, you know, moving over in a couple of months. Do you know anyone, or are you looking for anyone yourself? And I'm just like, personally, I'm not, but I don't know many. But you know, there's like plenty of Facebook groups. Like that's where I'll point them straight away because there's. Again, like you got to filter them out yourself. There's plenty of cowboys and massive chippy crews
still
on
out there. They're doing dog
see
shit
them all
work.
the time. One minute they're, we need 20 chippies on here, and then 3 weeks later they're like, does anyone got any work? And it's the same bloke, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
you're
definitely one. Not.
I see it all the time.
I've gotten a bit of contract work, and when you've been on there long enough, you can filter them out yourself and you work out which ones are legit and which ones are just, you know, pulling your tail or whatever. But
isn't it funny though, fucking talking about these Facebook groups?
Yeah.
If you know, you know, right? I'm not naming groups, but if you know, you know, in Southeast Queensland, what the main ones are.
Yeah, and I was literally 2 or 3 of them.
I was literally talking to the admin about it before because I said to her, are you on these groups?
Yeah.
She'd never been on them, and she's like, you know, she was asking me questions about it, and I just said to her, I was like, listen, like when you've been in them for a while, you know who's who, you know, who's posting what, like, you know, who not to be with, like, you just get a feel for it when it comes through. But 100%. A lot of for you, if anyone's listening in New Zealand, when I get DMs from guys that are saying like, listen, man, I'm coming over, you got any more work, any work or any availability, I say to them, like, message me when you're here.
Yeah.
Right? Don't, like, I get it, you want job security and stuff, but hey, you move into another country, it's not going to be secure.
Yeah.
You know? So if someone literally DMs me and says, hey man, I've landed from New Zealand, I'm here, I can come to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Your chances are fucking way better.
Yeah. Exactly.
Than the guy that messages me 6 weeks before and he goes, hey man, just want to line anything up. Because for anyone that does that, it's so like for an employer or someone that's looking for someone, it's like I've had it where I've said, yeah, no worries. And then 2 or 3 days before they're supposed to be, I message them and they're like, oh, no, it's all good, found something else. It's like, fuck me, man. Like, you know, so I just don't do it. So if you are thinking about doing it, like, get to Australia first. Trust me, you'll find a job. Hand on heart, you will fucking find a job.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's what we were talking about before. Like, there's one, if you're going out the start on your own or something, there is plenty of work in there.
Yeah.
Or if you're moving interstate, there's plenty of work. Like you said, get here, set yourself up, and be like, all right, I'll be on site Monday. Or if you get here on Monday, I'll be on site Wednesday. Or
100%. And you just say to them, listen, I'm here.
I know so many builders on the coast screaming for good chippies. Like it's
crazy at the moment. It's crazy.
It's so good.
Yeah. And, you know, good for guys that have been in it. And I think in years to come, it will sort of see, I think in the last few years, it's gone through a bit of a cycle where it's filtered out a lot of the guys that have been shit.
Yeah, I've found that as well.
Yeah, that haven't been able to survive, right? And that's not just the subbies. I'm talking, there's been a lot of builders that have gone very quiet, you know, they're fucked off. What happened to them? And no one knows.
Yeah.
That's what I've found. And I think we're going to go through that again when it starts to ease up a little bit. You know, interest rates coming back down a little bit. There's going to be a little bit more money floating in the market. People are going to want some more renos. So that encompassed with the fucking Olympics, it's just going to be an absolute onslaught of work. Right?
And that's the angle I'm coming in on. Like I said, because I feel like a lot of people, and it's the old saying, like, as long as there's cranes in the air, there's work going everywhere. And there's probably, again, I can only speak on the coast because I live down there, but there's probably like 20, 30 cranes in the air, if not more.
Yeah.
Especially from like Broady down to Palmy. It's
ridiculous.
So if there's plenty of blokes or chicks or whatever, anyone working there, then there's, you know, plenty of space for little guys like myself in resi and stuff. And like I said, there's work there.
Yeah.
If you're looking and you're a good tradie, like, don't be afraid.
Here's another thing that we're going to go down the whole lot, right? Because what I've found as well is with this whole thing about there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I just recently just came back from Melbourne, same thing. There's you go to the city there, endless cranes, dude. Endless. Cranes fucking everywhere down there. It's crazy. But back to here, I was only having a talk with another mate of mine recently about the work, okay? And don't get me wrong, you can be busy, but you can also not be making any money. So you still need to be fucking smart. Don't get it twisted. It's not like you're going to go out there tomorrow and bang, you're going to be making $1 million a week. No. It's not going to happen. There's heaps of work, but you still got to be fucking savvy about yourself and know what's right and know what's wrong and just do the right thing. But this whole thing about as you were saying, with the cranes, the Olympics, the commercial, right, the next 2-3 years, we're going to find a lot of guys will eventually, and I've seen it personally myself with my own staff, that'll eventually push their way into the other sector. Yeah. Because I can't compete, right? Yeah. I can't compete with the likes of bigger companies. Like, as soon as you want to talk about pay, you know, I can get there. Yeah. Right? I can try, but when you're trying to really compete at that level, it's nearly impossible. Yeah, exactly. So I try not to. I'll like bend with like lifestyle and this, that, and the other. But you know, if it's sheerly dollar for dollar, it's not I'm not gonna see it. A lot of the time, you'll see most guys will make that transition. So, you know, with that in the resi space, what I'm finding as well is that particular builders and developers are being very stubborn with saying, "Oh no, like." We'll find guys that can do it for that fucking rate. Yeah. And I said, yeah, you will, right? But do you want your job to last 4 years or do you want it done in 4 months? Yeah. Because guys want more money. So hence the contractors or whoever you get need to charge more money. Yeah. And that's what I'm finding is like they're sticking the rate, whatever rate they're fucking magically pull out of their ass for a certain scope of work or a budget, whatever it is. They're pulling that out and they're just saying, no, this is it. It's indefinite. This is what we need. This is it. This is our budget. This is what it should be done for. I was like, I literally had a meeting only recently. And I said, mate, listen, I'm on the fucking ground. Like, I am here. Yeah. If you want to talk on the ground, you know, fucking giving you the news live, this is me. You're up there in the fucking tower, not really understanding what's going on down here. I was like, I'm telling you right now, that budget or that rate that you've got, yeah, you'll find someone. It won't be me. You will find someone. But hey, fuck, like, good luck to them because they're going to do it and they're going to be halfway through it and they're going to realize they're making no money and then fucking bam, they're going to go.
For sure.
Like, you know, that's what I'm finding at the moment anyways, you know, this whole pay scenario of guys wanting more money and this, that, and the other, it's becoming real fucking difficult to have that talk because for me, it's the builders and the developers aren't pulling in like they're not adjusting to suit. So it sort of puts us in a bit of a spot. Yeah. And I think if you want to keep everyone happy, if the builders come into a line and the clients pay more and the developments, they sucker in their margin a little bit, everyone will be happy. I think everyone will still get their jobs done. But I think what we'll find is that a lot of guys will just leave and they'll go elsewhere because they can't fucking, we can't compete.
Yeah, exactly. They're still on the rates from 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh.
Like they're just, like I've had, again, with my mate talking, to give you a little bit of context, same thing. Like he's on the alley for a builder, helping him out. He has for the last couple of months, and he's trying to get a bit of contract in there again so we can eventually branch out in 4 or 5, however long.
Yeah.
Anyways, he did this fix. Oh, no, it was a clad job.
Yeah.
Got it done, just scraped by on, a shit rate on the purchase order. And then the builder goes, oh, we've got the deck at the back, 90% of the frame's done. You can lay it. I think it was like 9 by 3 deck, so not much in it. Well, he goes, send through the purchase order, and literally it was $1,200 or something to lay the boards. I'm like, that wouldn't even cover one bloke for 3 days.
Yeah, no.
And like, that's what they're trying to pump out, and then my mate's like, nah.
Yeah, but then they find someone.
Yeah, but then exactly some sort of handyman or some
come through
dude
and
that's
do it.
Probably says he's qualified, but he's not, or someone that is qualified, but's just we'll just take it anyway.
Yeah, fucking ludicrous.
And I'd hate to see what that looks like.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Dude.
For anyone that knows their worth, they're not taking that on for $1,000 to lay.
Yeah, $1,000 if you don't get it done in a day.
Yeah,
you're doing it for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then who gets the fucking last laugh? The builder.
Yeah.
They get to sit there and go, oh, well, you fucking accepted it, mate.
Yeah.
You should know better.
Yeah. You fucked it up. You come back.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's snowballs, right? Like,
then
the client ends up with a shit product because the builder's got some cowboy in to do it. And now it goes back and forth, and that's just that little job, right? Like,
that's just one.
Yeah.
That's just one.
Imagine the rest of like, that happens probably on a daily.
On the fucking daily, mate. On the fucking daily. So, we see purchase orders come through. A lot of our stuff now is quoted.
Yeah.
But even then, even on the quoted space, you still got budgets, right? It's not an endless fucking string that you just, oh, well, the quote's 700 grand. Like, oh, yep, you win it. Like, no, they'll fucking come back and be like, mate, the fucking budget's way less than that.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like we got to educate and be like, listen, when you're trying to compare apples with apples, you need to actually compare apples with apples and be like, listen, I get that you might have an estimator or a fucking whoever, a QS, right? I love this whole thing. It's massive in the tendering space. QSs, love them. They might be external, internal, whoever the fuck they are. But a lot of the time when they're doing these budgets for certain scopes, and let me just say to you boys, in the resi space that are running on purchase orders and contracts, this probably isn't relevant.
Yeah.
But when you step up into that next little thing, a lot of the time they'll give you a budget. This is just a sheer, for example, purpose. They'll say, listen, the budget for the cladding, the fix out, whatever it is, the carpentry scope is 100 grand. But they don't tell you that at the start. All right. So what they'll do is they'll send it out for tender and they'll say, tender this for me, estimate for me. You'll go back, you'll pump it out. It'll be like 180. Be like, listen, you've done your own takeoffs. You've added in whatever you needed to add in. You've done the right thing. You've gone, oh, listen, I need a little bit more on this, whatever. You fucking priced it like you needed to price it. You go back, it's 180. Like, oh, mate, no chance. It's fucking, our budget's 100. So our job now is to we got to educate them and say listen, okay, who is the guy that actually gave you that budget? Who are they? Because I want to have a meeting with them and I want to see if they've actually done what we've done.
Yeah.
And if I'm lucky enough, I'll actually be able to get into a room, pull up our takeoff, pull up their takeoff and be like, listen, you're not looking at this thing because they're looking at it as a build. Yeah. We're looking at it as a scope, like just one aspect. They're looking at the electrical, the plumbing, the falls, the civil, the fucking landscaping. They got so many more things. So for them to miss $80,000 on one thing, it's probably fucking, they're going to do that. So that's why it's, if we're able to educate them and say listen, man, you're not, and that's when the hard thing sits there, because I've seen it in their face that when they sit there and you're like, man, you forgot about that, you forgot about that, you forgot about that. We're not over, you're under.
Yeah.
And they literally, I'm not going to call out who they are because I literally remember the meeting when they turned to their boss and they said, well, either way, it's a fixed price.
Yeah.
We need to pull it in at that.
Yeah.
So we shook hands and I said, well, if you get stuck, you know you can call us, but hey, it won't be us.
Yeah.
Sure enough, 8 months later, I don't know who the fuck went out there and did it. I never looked at the quality, but the job was done. And fucking the rest is history, man. But, you know, I see that if you want to talk real life, that happens on the fucking daily.
Yeah.
On the daily.
And then for you as well, too, like, you got to pay one of your staff members to quote it for you and estimate it and stuff. Like, where's that money coming from?
Exactly.
Like,
that's also another tricky thing. Whether or not you're paying staff or you're doing it yourself, it's lost time regardless.
Because it's another rabbit hole about this whole free quote BS that is builders, 1970s.
A lot of builders,
bullshit,
big builders that I know, they'll charge 30 grand for a quote.
Yeah. That's
like large guys that are super like got a brand in that. If a client goes to them, if a client goes to them and they want that build, their builder's gonna say like, yeah, no worries, we can price that. It costs you $30,000 though before we even look at it.
Yeah.
And you know, that for them it's great because they don't really need it anyway. Like for me, I did it it's just a different space. Like I can't do it in our sort of space who we're tendering through, but in the boutique space, I have niched that a little bit and cut it because same thing. I'm not going to name the builder, but there was a particular guy where we'd price, like this is in the resi space, high-end residential housing out on acreage blocks, right?
Yeah.
Out of Chandler. Massive homes. Like I'm talking like 1,300 square meters, like internal dual living, cinemas, everything. Beautiful houses. But what I was finding is that this guy was just using me as a QS.
Yeah.
So on the next one, I said to him, mate, no worries. Like, and when I tell you, it can take us probably on that one house, it could take us anywhere from all up, could take you 4 days to really hone in, right? Really hone in, like detail it up, go through the takeoff, fucking write down, you dealing with supplies, this, that, and the other. And I said to him, no worries. I said, I can do it for 3,000 plus GST.
Yeah.
I said, before I even do it, I said, you know what we can do, the extent of the quote and how far we go. Fucking what happened? Never heard of him again.
Yeah.
MIA.
Yeah.
Never spoke to me again, never thanked me for any of the other tenders. And for me, after that, I was like, mate, you can get fucked.
Yeah.
I was like, if that's how it's going to be, like, yeah, I just think it's a bit of a kick in the guts. If you're going to use guys, and I've got some really good relationships with some builders now where they'll be straight with me, right? They'll either say to me at the start, they'll say, listen, this is roughly where we're sitting. You price it. If we win it, you win it.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest reassuring thing that I need.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't win it, I don't win it. Happy days. But if they win it and they don't give it to me and I've been heavily invested in it, I think it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth.
Oh, for sure.
Right? If we haven't aligned the price to their budget, I expect them to pipe up and say so and just say like, listen, man, like you're sitting a bit high. You know, is there anything, can you sharpen it up? Like work with your guys. Like this is for the builders and that, like work with your tradies that you pride. This doesn't mean in carpentry, it can be in plumbing or whoever, but if you're trying to get guys to tender up your work and you're not paying for it, like just work with them.
Yeah.
You know, and just say to them, listen, man, if I win this, you'll win it.
Yeah.
And just don't be a rat about it because nothing infuriates me more when I see guys where they'll go to market and they'll get all these pricing. They'll send it to the plumber, they'll send it to the civil company, fucking everyone. It's a fantastic job. Everyone wants to be involved. And this is what's happening right now with the Olympics. Everyone wants to be a piece of it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants in. So everyone's pricing through the roof, just dumping all this thing. And they're like, oh, well, you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. But then what happens is they build the packages in, they send it to the client, they win it. And then everyone that fucking priced it to them, they go back to market and they try to increase their margin.
Yeah.
They go back out there and they say, oh, well, this guy gave me 180. Let's see if we can fucking beat it.
Yeah, get him down.
Yeah, and everyone goes, oh, you know, but that's just business. No, that's fucking bullshit. I don't think that's right.
No.
I just don't think that's right.
Like I said, it happens ridiculous in the
all the time.
Resi space. Like people just wanting quotes or 3, 4, 5 quotes and they've probably already got one.
Yeah.
But they're just trying to get it against the next 3 blokes and see what if the price is right, basically.
Yeah.
But
isn't it funny though when you turn to them and you say, oh, well, how much, you know, what are you expecting it to be?
Yeah. Or what's your budget? Or like they backs up against the wall. Well, what do you need to know what my budget was? Well, one, because what if I quote it under and we could have done something 10 times better because you got an extra 50 grand in your back pocket we could have used, because that was your budget. Well, it goes, again, on the flip side, it might be over, but because Joe Blow down there can do it for 50 grand cheaper, but what's his product going to be compared to mine at the end of the day?
I literally had a meeting 3 days ago with a guy where I sat down with him and I said, listen, the best relationships I have are guys that are very fucking transparent with me. I don't need to know the exact dollar figure that you're going in at. Don't need to know that. But if you say, listen, man, we're sitting around about here on this. If you get around about, like, obviously, but because, and then first thing out of his breath was, oh, well, who's to say that you know, if I give you a budget of 200 and you come in at 198, you know, I'm like, well, then happy fucking days.
Yeah, exactly.
Came in at your budget, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because if I've come in and I've, you know, shortcut myself, I'm going to leave a shit job. And he goes, oh, what about if you do leave a shit job? I said, well, then that tarnishes my reputation.
Yeah.
And if you want to be in business for a fucking quite a long time, it's not worth cutting corners like that, because then what's going to happen? I'm going to do a shit job. You're going to fuck me off and we'll never see each other again over one job. You really think, like, I literally was just saying to him, I was like, you really think like I'm going to do that? Like, I'm not going to do it. If you say to me that it's 200, who knows? I could come back in and say to you, listen, man, I don't know where you got that budget from, but fuck me. Like, I'm sitting at 150.
Yeah.
You know, or flip side, I come back and I say, I'm sitting at 250. So, you know, that's where I feel comfortable sitting.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could literally see him sitting in the seat being like, oh, you know, well, fuck. Like, I'm like, it's just so backwards.
Yeah.
It's just so backwards. Like, I just think just be transparent and don't be afraid to just say, like, listen. It's same with clients and builders. Like, you know, I've got these plans done up. Like, this, you know, it's a fucking $1.5 million house, but hey, our budget's $650.
Yeah.
What?
And that's what I've done plenty of quotes over the times as well. And like, in inverted commas, gone over their budget. And it's like, but that's how much I can do it for.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm going to do the best I can. And I believe and back myself in that I'll do a great product.
Yeah.
But, you know, and they've gone back and gone, oh, yeah, all this. But it's like you said, like, I'm not going to go in there and do a shit job, because word of mouth's massive with reputation.
Exactly.
As soon as I do a shit job, my name's going to get tarnished. And then who knows who you know, who old mate knows, and there goes my next three jobs. And next minute I'm sitting at home fucking twiddling my thumbs.
It's not worth it. Or if I'm priced, it's same. It goes the other way. For everyone goes, oh, but yeah, okay, well, what about if they handed you that job and they never barred it and they just went over their budget? Well, then same thing.
Yeah.
Because if you've been in the game for long enough, right? If I went to Chris, or let's just say me and Chris, this is hard to fucking for the podcast. But anyway, I'm going to voice it. 40 episodes in, guys. I'm sure I can do this. Okay, so you just imagine Chris is my mate. You know, we've been mates for fucking ages. I'm getting reno done at my house. You know, what the bathroom comes in at fucking, you know, I had a budget for 50. This guy comes back in at 96 fucking thousand, and I accept it and I do it. Blah 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 blah. And, you know, the job gets done fine for fucking $96,000 for a bathroom. I hadn't seen Chris in a few months. Comes over for lunch one day, walks in, sees the bathroom, and he goes, oh, that's a nice bathroom. How much does that cost you? I'll tell him. Fucking, he's going to turn around and be like, fuck, man, you got absolutely raped. That bathroom would have cost fucking $25,000, all right? 40 at the best. He's like, you've been absolutely raped. So it tarnishes your relationship again. Right? So it does go the other way as well. It's not just like, oh, you know, but then he's just made a bit of money off you. You've been absolutely suckered. Yeah. Right? You've been fucked. But then good luck trying to get a repeat fucking thing from him, because then if you got another quote, if you then say to him, oh, he'll then ring you because he thinks that you're fucking, you know, you're the little golden fish. So he's going to come up to you. He's going to ring you again. Hey, man, I know you got a deck. Yeah, you know. Then you compare his price, and then he's tried to fucking jam you again. You're going to tell him to get fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're going to tell everyone else that reckons when he said, oh, no, I got fucked. So it does go both ways.
It is a fine line.
Yeah, it is a fine line.
You just got to find that happy medium.
Exactly.
I think one, you know, back yourself in, do a great product. Obviously, be fucking amazing at your trade, whatever that might be. But yeah, reputation, like, it's huge. Like,
huge.
Mate, we're all in it to make money, right?
Exactly.
That's what.
And why does everyone get so fucking weird about that? They get so weird about,
like, even if you are just an employee, you go to work to make money. Like,
exactly.
At the end of the day, but, you know, back yourself in, you do a great job. Fuck, everyone's happy at the end of the day.
And it's fucking this whole, like, thing about, like, oh, we're trying to, you know, we're all in it to make money. And like when I say to the guys, like, I make money, you make money, the job gets done to a high standard, fucking happy days. We're all happy.
Yeah.
If I'm in it and I'm not making any fucking money, I'm going to be stressed out of my mind. I'm going to do a shit job, right? And I'm probably not going to be around for long.
And then the 20 boys you got on don't have work.
Exactly. So it's a never ending cycle. That's why it's like, you know, it all has to stem from, you know, price. And anyway, I'm not going out that fucking path. You guys can, get an ebook or something for that. But anyway, fucking man, it has been absolutely chugging along. But I don't even know where the train of thought went on that one.
Nah,
we've just been yapping on this one. If you guys listen, if you want to hear back something funny, you listen to the first episode that we spoke about. Fucking, I was like a Channel 9 interviewer. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about this. It was just, we've changed the way that we've been doing things now. It's a little bit more relaxed, but
that's good.
But yeah, man. So, you know, talk to me a little bit more about. So you said that you're now subbing to the builder that you're at.
Yeah.
And do you think that Chris the Chippy will have chippies? You know, is that actually going to come up with the ground? What are you probably most worried? Are you worried or are you not worried about that? Does it stress you out? Is it a big risk? How does that sit? Because I think from fucking memory, the very first time we sat down, Chris was like, "Yeah, no, absolutely fucking not."
Yeah.
You know, I can't envision having fucking any more boys.
No, I didn't. I was pretty content with myself, just looking after myself. And I was up until probably literally like a month ago, a couple of weeks ago. So, I think I want to, like I was talking about earlier, like with all this work coming in, with all the com games, and then I reckon, especially on the coast as well, there's going to be a lot of work in the reno space and apartments. Like I think since I spoke to you, I've done probably 5-6 renos.
That's crazy.
Apartment renos for another mate of mine. Funny story, I started subbing with this cowboy builder. Started renoing this guy's house who he was mates with. Got halfway through it and he's like, fuck, I'm just going to pay you just to finish it. But he's a plumber. He does bathroom renos. So, and then, I've been doing stuff with him on the side as well. And he does all these apartment renos. So,
just for himself, like buys apartment renos, sells.
No, he does them for clients.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But he said he's got a heat coming up, and then he's noticed it even himself in the last 4 to 5 months that he's getting heaps more like full apartment renos, strip outs. All through like Broady, Miami, all the way
just
down.
in a different space now.
Yeah. So it's just, and I think I've got 6 for him before the end of the year already. So once you go in there, even for myself to work for him, that's 2, maybe 3 weeks work per unit
fucking thing. Yeah.
So, I think there's heaps of space in there. So then, that's what I want to do for the next 12 months is get everything lined up. Maybe do my Cert 4, progress in that sort of area, and then maybe eventually get my builder's ticket. I reckon maybe because that's where I want to end up. It's one goal I've always had for the last couple of years is getting into that space. It's a lot of money and a lot of investment. Is doing my own developments and renos and flips and all the rest of it. Yeah, which is probably 10, 15 years down the track. But if I can get to there, I think I feel like I've made it. Yeah. But what the next in between that looks like. But I reckon definitely, if I can get a couple of qualifieds and a couple of apprentices behind me or under me in the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I think that's where.
That's it, man. Like it's funny though because the first time it was very like content. Yeah. Chris rocked up like he'd only just come from site or something. It was crazy because you were just like very content and just doing what you were doing. You know? But you can tell now it's obviously different conversations you're a part of. You're seeing it now from maybe a different lens, maybe a different opportunity. As you said, you've been 2.5, nearly 3 years now out. Doing your own thing now, essentially. So now you've probably been like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to give this thing a fucking shot and see. And the opportunities are there.
For sure.
And I think as long as you have the right mindset for it, because a lot of guys in business don't really talk about that. You can do all the work you want in the world. You can get the best guys. You can fucking think you're killing it. But yeah, the mindset's a massive thing, mate. It's huge.
I think that's, again, we're talking about apprentices and stuff, and even trades coming out early, or they're still early 20s and stuff. I think that's the biggest thing for them as well, is work out what you want to do. For me, I wish I'd figured that out a lot earlier than I did. It took me till I was 32. I'm now 37 and only figuring out the next phase and having employees and stuff. But again, do your trade, because you can only do what we're having conversations about unless you do your trade. Like if you fall out 2 years in, and then you're going to go back in 10 years and try and finish it, and then realise, fuck, if I'd have just stuck out for another year, 12 months or whatever.
And you'd be that guy.
Yeah. So
just stay in it.
For sure. Like mindset's massive.
Just stay in it, man. Like, apprenticeships aren't designed to be easy.
No.
I preach this to apprentices when I bring them on. I say, listen, man, like, I don't want to be like a cunt. Like when I say it's not meant to be easy, I'm not talking about like abusive or anything like that. I'm just talking about like how it is, right? Because you're 17, you've just come from, or you're 18, whoever the fuck you are. You've just come from probably like a normal life where, and then all of a sudden, bam, you got to be at work at 6:30. You got to work for fucking 9 hours or 8 hours or whatever. Go home, rinse and repeat 5 days of the week, 6 days maybe.
Yeah.
And to go from that and the pay's not that, like, these are all the things that it doesn't make it easy to do. That's why it can be a bit of a shocker for some guys. So I do recommend that. I literally had a guy hit me in the DMs a while ago. He was he's selling cars or something, and he wants to be an apprentice. And I just said to him, literally the one message I sent to him was just like, I'll take you on, but you need to establish that this is actually what you want.
Yeah.
And he just, I think he was sort of hoping for something else. But essentially what I was meaning is like, you need to really work out, like, is this actually what you want? Because it's, it's not fucking, you're not just checking, you're not just working at Woolies or something like that. Yeah. It is a bit of a hard slog.
Yeah, for sure. So just stick at it and you'll get there.
All right. Well, I think this one's actually gone way quicker than the last one.
I know.
I know you guys couldn't have seen my face on the first one, but hey, I was fucking sweating bullets. And it's been really good, man. I want to thank you again for coming on, and we're gonna put this in the calendar in another fucking 2 years. And you watch, he's gonna be coming in here with, he'd be like, oh, I'm doing this, doing that now. I got these guys, this, that, and the other. So
let's hope.
It will, man. It will. I can even tell you, it's like you're completely different from when the last time we spoke, man. But I want to thank you again for coming on. I do really appreciate it, and you'll always be the first one anyway. So thank you again, Chris. I appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Right. Cheers.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this week's episode. If something hit home for you, it would mean the absolute world to us if you could like and share this podcast with someone else that would benefit from it. Tune into next week's episode, as this will be one that you don't want to miss.